my hands swelled up like crazy. We were on a hike. Honestly, it's just a constant battle for me. I'm always going back and forth because I know what I want, but at the same time I don't. And I actually ended up getting surgery. Please tell me if you guys ever did this, because I genuinely want to know. So every Saturday I would wake up and I would be so excited. Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to do a updated 50 facts about me. I did a 50 facts about me probably 2 years ago. It was early on when I started my channel. But the last comment I got on that video, it was someone saying you should do an updated version. So I created another list, but I thought it would be fun to curate a new 50 facts about me. Let's go down the line here. I wrote them all down yesterday, so I sent them to myself through email, and so I have the whole list. First, obviously, my full name is Michelle Yeji Choi. Fun fact, besides that, my last name is actually not, in like Korean, you don't say Choi, you say Che. So if you're Korean, you know that, but I don't know how America chose Choi out of Che, because when you say my name is like Cheyeji. I don't know. My birthday is October 3rd, 1994. I am a Libra with a Virgo moon sign and a Gemini rising sign. I have a lot of Scorpio in my chart. I thought that was a fun fact. I don't know. I was born in Orange County. I graduated high school class of 2012. My favorite food are potatoes. That's like no shocker because everyone knows that about me. I hate tomatoes, but I'll eat marinara sauce. It's such a weird idea, but I don't eat tomato soup. I don't eat ketchup. What else will I not? I especially will not drink tomato juice. I was a Sunday school teacher for 9 years. I have resigned. I'm not doing that anymore. I lived with my parents, grandparents, and aunt until I was 5. We lived in a big house all together. I got my driver's license when I was 17. My mom made me wait. She said that I had to wait. I didn't have my own room until I was 16. My first car was a white 2000, that was the year, Chrysler 300M. I am scared of the dark. I actually have a fear of it. It freaks me out. I kind of like I get really anxious in the dark. So if I'm going down like a dark hallway, even though it's like my house or it's Kim's house or anybody's house that I'm familiar with, even though I know, it's just being in the dark really freaks me out. I took an allergy test when I was in my early 20s, and turns out, well, some of them I already knew, but it turns out I'm allergic to certain trees. I don't know the names of them, but that makes sense because once I was camping with my family and my hands swelled up like crazy. We were on a hike and out of nowhere I like kind of got itchy in the throat and my hands were swelling and they hurt. Like I couldn't close my hands and make a fist because they were so swollen, and I was like, this is so weird. Then later on I found out I was allergic to trees, so that's great. I'm allergic to cats. I don't know how much I'm still allergic to cats because I haven't really been near one in a long time. But I am deadly allergic to walnuts and pecans. I call them the brain nuts because they look like brains. So I need to be really careful when I eat certain pastries and stuff. I got my ears pierced when I was in 3rd grade because everyone was getting their ears pierced. And I was like, oh, I kind of feel left out. Like I should probably do it. My favorite type of breakfast is breakfast sandwiches, but even better than breakfast sandwiches is bagel breakfast sandwiches. I didn't start socially drinking until I was 20. I didn't smoke marijuana until I was 24, and I'm only 26. And I have never smoked a cigarette. I didn't have a TV until I was in college. My parents didn't believe in giving me a TV. They were like, here's your laptop, do everything through your laptop. So I watched everything through my laptop, but it's fine because I didn't have Netflix until like years later anyways. I got my first smartphone in 2012 right after I graduated high school, and it was the iPhone 4. It was the white one. Apparently I was talking about it with my brother, and apparently we still have it in this house. Naturally, I'm someone who likes to talk about everything. Like, I like to kind of like lay everything on the table when I'm having a problem or an issue. I like to talk about things, and I like to work through them because that's what helps me. But then I'm also very like, ooh, like, I'd rather not talk about it. I can get over it. It's fine. Like, I try to act macho, and I try to act like it doesn't bother me, but then it eventually does. Honestly, it's just a constant battle for me because I'm always going back and forth because I know what I want, but at the same time, I don't know what I want. And I feel like that's very Libra and Virgo of me. Like, I know what I want, but at the same time, I'm very like, ooh, wait, like, let's weigh the options. Hold on. Maybe I don't know what I want. I don't know. I'm so confusing. So when I was little, my favorite food was Korean ramen. Like, any Korean ramen. Like, jinramen, samyangramen, shinramen. Any ramen, like Korean ramen, I loved. Like, it was my favorite food, which is probably why I don't eat much of it now. But my parents never let me eat it all the time, obviously, because it's not the healthiest food for your child. So my mom only let me eat it on Saturdays. So every Saturday I would wake up and I would be so excited because I was like, yes, I get to eat ramen. It was like my favorite thing to do. My favorite all-time movie is How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I think that's the title. Sometimes I say it wrong, but it's the one with Jim Carrey. If you haven't watched it, you have to watch it. I think it was Christmas time, this past Christmas, and I posted it, and someone was like, oh my gosh, I've never watched it. And I was like, a fact connected to How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I had this old keyboard that was broken. I don't know where from. I think my parents had it, and I wanted to keep it because I love I love buttons. Like, if you know me or if you've ever shopped with me, you know, like, if there's like, if you go to like an office place, like Office Depot or Staples, I have to go to the keyboard section, and I have to go to the phone section, and I have to press buttons. I don't know why. It's a problem. Like, even when I'm like rarely at Costco or Sam's Club or anything like that, you know how they have their laptops laid out? I have to press the buttons. It's an issue. So when I was little, my parents had this broken keyboard that like the wire was cut off, and it was just old and like broken down. I don't know why it was even broken because all the keys were there. But anyways, they would give it to me, and so I would turn on How the Grinch Stole Christmas and turn on the captions to the movie, and I literally would type out everything. I don't know why. Not that I was ever a fast typer when I was little, but I just sat there and would type out everything they were saying. And now I feel like that might be why I know every line to the movie, but now that I think about it, I don't know why I would do that. I guess I needed something to type, and since it was my favorite movie, I was like, why not, I guess? So when I was little, I hated hamburgers. I don't know why, but you know how when you're little, you get Happy Meals and you would get the cheeseburger and like, it's totally normal, or you get the McNuggets. But I really hated hamburgers. Apparently growing up, I hated water in my face. Like, I hated being showered. Like, I hated it when my mom would wash my hair because she would get water in my face. So when I was younger, my mom signed me up for swim classes, and I would not get in the pool. So she had to throw me in physically. Like, she had to pick my ass up and throw me in. One of the feelings I hate is chapped lips. I hate feeling chapped lips on myself. Like, when I feel like I have dry lips or they hurt. Like, you know when you get chapped lips, your lips feel like they're kind of stretching. I personally hate the feeling. I got my first tattoo, which is this one on my wrist, on October 3rd, 2012. So it was on my 18th birthday. I remember I walked in there like 2 weeks before my 18th birthday, and I was like, hi, can I make an appointment? Like, blah, 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 blah. And they were like, yeah, sure. Are you 18? I was like, no, but I'll be 18 when I come back. And he was like, okay. In 4th grade, I growing up in general, I hated doing homework. Like, as a kid, I was a terrible student. Like, education, my mom should have known that education and I were never friends. Like, we were never going to be friends. Like, it was not a thing. So in 4th grade, I remember my teacher, my 4th grade teacher, her name was Ms. Kobayashi. But Ms. Kobayashi threatened to hold me back and make me redo 4th grade. So I was like, get your shit together, Michelle. And so then I passed, and I never got held back. I went to a private school for preschool and kindergarten, and it was called like Christian Montessori something. It was a Montessori school, and it was private school, which is very bougie of me and my family. Very, very bougie. I remember we didn't have uniforms, but I do know that boys wore pants and girls wore skirts. It was very like, that's how it was. And I actually went back there recently in the last, like, I don't remember, like a year ago maybe, because for one of my child development classes, I had to go and kind of observe and write a paper on that. So I actually chose that school and went back, and I think the last thing I remember is they do wear uniforms now. Like, they wear official uniforms, which is so weird because I went back and I was looking, and they have like a toddler section, and like they have a music room, and I'm like, wow. Because the music room was the dance room when I was there, and that's when I did tap and ballet. Following that, I was super girly. Like, I grew up very, very girly. I did gymnastics, ice skating, ballet, tap dance. I never did hip hop though. I never was interested in that. But I did everything girly possible. So the earliest memory that I have is of me playing in a bucket of water in my old house where I lived with my grandparents and my aunt and my parents. In our backyard, we had this huge red bucket, like huge. Like 2 people would have to hold it if you put water in it. And I would play in it like it was my pool or like my puddle of water, and that's like the earliest memory I have. Growing up, my favorite color was purple for the longest time because my elementary school, we were the Purple Panthers. Well, Perry Panther. We were Perry Panthers because the school is called Perry Elementary School, but the panther was purple. So for the longest time, my favorite color was purple. But now my favorite colors are either black or like blood orange. And what I mean by blood orange is like bright orange with red in it. Like when I see that color, I'm like, oh my God. And I used to get this red color on my nails that was the most like exact kind of red or blood orange that I love. And I'm really upset that I can't get it because I only like it in gel. If you've noticed, if you get dip is never the exact same color of the gel, so it upsets me because I can't get gel anymore. If you guys are wondering, it's because I'm allergic to gel polish now. I got my first pair of glasses when I was in high school. I didn't need them before that, and they were actually not even that bad. I think they got worse over time just because you can never plan that out, and because I didn't take care of my eyes. I don't know how many of you know this, but I broke my arm when I was in 4th grade, and I actually ended up getting surgery. I don't know if you guys can see my scar. Hopefully you can. It's a terrible scar. The doctor who sewed me back up did a terrible job. Like, terrible. I've seen some other scars and they look very nice, and they look like, it looks like you don't even have a scar. But this person, this doctor, yeah, you know, you need to work on your stitching because this isn't it. It's so raggedy. But I remember when I was younger, it used to look like this long to me. But now it's like, it's puny, it's itty bitty. Not very many people notice it. It is my skin color, but if you see it, you definitely like are like, oh, what happened? Like, it's a pretty big scar. I remember when I found out, I remember when I found out I needed surgery. I think I went to Chalk Hospital. And I was with my dad, and the doctor was like, here's the thing, we can either operate or we don't operate. And my dad chose for me because my dad has actually broken both of his arms, and when he straightens out his arms, you know how it's flat right here? His pokes out a lot. Like, I don't know if you guys, you see how mine pokes out a little bit right here? Does that make sense? You know how this is straight? And this is like poked out a little bit. His is like a lot. Like, you can really tell the difference. And the only reason this one is so much less is because I got surgery. So my dad was like, I would rather you get surgery and fix that and not have to live your life with such like ugly arms, especially because you're a girl. So he decided that I should get surgery. I didn't even know it was an option now that I realize it, but he told me I had to get surgery, and I like bawled my eyes out. I was like, I'm so scared. I was only in 4th grade, maybe even 3rd. I think it was the end of, no, it was 4th grade. My favorite hangout spot during high school with my friends was the Westminster Mall. So when I go there now, it feels weird to me because I used to hang out there all the time. And I don't even know what the hell we did because one, I didn't have money. Two, I didn't have a car. Like, I don't understand, like, it's so weird. Like, when you look at your young self, you found things to do for no reason for so long. Like, just being with your friends was just so fun. Like, going around and doing stupid things. So when I was little and I lived with my grandparents, my parents, and my aunt, my grandpa is like a super clean freak, so he would make us all wash our cars on the weekends. And so I remember, or I was told apparently, whenever we would wash our cars outside, I would take out like my plastic. Do you know those cars, the plastic cars where you use your legs and the kids move, like run up? You know what I'm talking about. Mine was yellow and red. The top of the car was yellow and the door was red. Like the body of the car was red. And apparently I was told I would drag it out of the house and I would wash my car with them. This next fact has a lot to do with my keyboard obsession. When I was little, I wanted to be like a secretary. Like I love the idea of like sitting at a desk. I always wanted fake nails when I was little. So what I would do is I would waste tape. Oh my god, my mom hated me when I would do this. She would be like, you're wasting tape and tape is expensive. So I would take tape and wrap it around my finger. Please tell me if you guys ever did this because I genuinely want to know. One, I don't even understand how I came up with it. Two, I want to know if anyone else did that growing up because they wanted fake nails. But I would wrap it around my finger and then I would pinch the end so that that was like the tip of my nails kind of thing. Oh my god, it's so funny now that I'm thinking about it. And then I would just kind of type away on my keyboard that I used to type out my Grinch captions. It was so funny. I would always do that and I'd always pretend I was on the phone making appointments and like, oh my god, yep, that's what I would do because I always wanted to be a secretary. I did not grow up a daddy's girl at all. My dad and I actually had like a bit of a falling out when I was in high school. It was pretty bad and then we picked it back up and now I feel like we're at a good place. But I never grew up very close to my dad. He wasn't as affectionate as I needed someone to be, I guess. He was always just like the protector, the caretaker. So before Clem happened, Clem's been taking a nap right by me if you couldn't tell. But right before Clem happened, within the year before Clem, I actually begged my dad for me to be able to get a dog because I really wanted a dog. I've always wanted a dog since I was little. But because he's allergic to dogs, and yes, he's allergic to hypoallergenic dogs, he's very sensitive to dust. So the fact that dogs have dander and the dirtier they get, the more it's just not okay. And the fur obviously carries the dust and dander, so it's just not good. I begged him. I said, I really want a dog. I will do anything you want me to. Literally at the ripe old age of like 25. I was begging my dad. I was like, please let me get a dog. Please, like, I really want a dog. Let me. I will do anything. I was literally about to sell my soul. And he said no. He was completely against it. In general, he doesn't really like animals. So, and he has allergies, so he was like, absolutely not. So I cried hysterically. I was so mad. I was so irritated. I was like, oh my god, I just want one freaking thing. And then Clem happened. I truly believe that nothing changed. I just think that Clem was supposed to be the one. For whatever reason, which I don't have one, Clem was supposed to be the one that was supposed to come to our family. And I don't know how I even got my dad to say yes. My mom is an amazing, is it seamstress? Seamstress? I think that's the word. We used to have a cleaners when I was little. We owned a cleaners. That was one of the first businesses that my grandfather started. I think he bought a cleaners or something. And we owned it for a while. And my mom used to fix up whatever. Anyways, she would always take like leftover cloth and make me skirts. Like I had tons of random skirts. But my favorite one was she made this one green one, and it was like, right now I would never be caught dead in it, but it was like a shiny green material, and it made me think of Ariel from The Little Mermaid. When my brother was little and he started crawling, I always wanted a dog, so I would tie a jump rope around his stomach. This is terrible. I would like lightly, and then I would just kind of follow wherever he would go. Like, I wouldn't pull him, but I would like follow wherever he crawled to and pretended that I was my dog. Oh my God, poor kid. I don't know why I think it's so funny. I hated eating dairy products when I was little. Like, I hated milk, I hated yogurt, I hated cheese, I hated all of it. I was like, oh, the only thing I ate was like ice cream. I'm still not a fan of milk. I'll eat yogurt here and there, but I don't choose to eat yogurt. And the only dairy product I eat heavily, not even heavily really, is probably cheese. I always prefer to eat American food over Asian food. It's just who I am. I've always been that way. I do crave Asian food sometimes, but I could live without it. Like, I could totally go like 6 days of the week with American food and then have only 1 day of Asian food. My go-to drink is always water. I'll choose water over anything. Sometimes there's days where I really want a soda just because it tastes good. But I don't tend to finish my sodas. I only enjoy like the first 2 sips, like the first 2 big sips. But then after that, I'm like, okay, like I want water now. My last random fact is if I had to choose an ice cream to eat, which I don't eat ice cream very much because I don't have a sweet tooth, but if I had to, it would be the Haagen-Dazs Vanilla Swiss Almond. I don't know why, something about it, just so good, especially the almonds because it's just covered in chocolate. I don't know, it's so good, it's my favorite. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, getting to know me and 50 random facts about me. If you've heard them before because they were repeated on the first video, then I'm sorry, but it's really hard to come up with 50 facts about me. But I hope you guys enjoyed it anyways, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!